as mayor, this is my first complete year. And just turned out to be a really good one, I think. So I thought it would be appropriate to kind of highlight some of the things that happened. So in 2024, we had a balanced budget, which is always a good thing, and actually we do that every year, so good for us. We have well-managed finances and public records, which are probably the two most valuable things that our residents expect us to take care of. We've got effective, efficient, and credentialed staff. A lot of our staff have extended degrees. They got master degrees. They've got letters after their titles, credentials, and they also belong to a lot of professional organizations to where they share those skills and also learn from others in the trade. So a lot of good experience on our staff. We got great streets and sidewalks and buildings. If you ever drive out of Crestwood, it becomes very obvious that the streets and whatnot, we were no longer in Crestwood. I think we're kind of spoiled, but I like it that way. We got great parks. We got engaging public recreation programs, and as an exhibit, if you just kind of take a look at the spring Rec Connect guide that we just got, our Parks Department is just kind of killing it on our recreation programs. Over the past few years, they've really scaled that up. We got top-tier public safety personnel and excellent response times. Crestwood isn't the biggest city by any means, but our police and fire, I think, are the best in St. Louis County. I would put them up against anyone else. And we got strong code enforcement, which helps keep our property values up in our residential areas, but also this year we've seen several commercial code enforcement that has really helped with safety in our city. And just all in all, we got a positive culture. I think everybody is proud to be part of the team. And I could end my presentation right here, and I'd be very happy with our performance in 2024. But honestly, these are things we do every year, and we do them well. And this is Crestwood, and so this really is just kind of our baseline. In 2024, if you recall, we did come up with these long-term priorities that we can use to gauge and map our plans and our strategies. So let's take a look at those and see how we did there. So let's go through those real quick. The first is governmental excellence, which basically is, we want our city to be run as efficiently and effectively as it can be. Vision and growth, we want our city to grow and do it in a positive and cohesive manner, following our comprehensive plan. Quality of life, which relates primarily to our parks, but to promote physical and emotional health for our residents and meaningful community engagement. We want premier public safety. We want all people to always feel safe and be safe, and have our first responders have a relationship with our public and have earned their trust. And lastly, our engaged and connected community. We want our residents to be engaged with things that are going on in the community. We want to be transparent and just really in touch with what's going on. So I thought that we could take a look at how we did on these long-term priorities, both in 2024, and touch on some things we've got planned for this year. And I'm using this little sign of progress icon to kind of keep track of what those things were. So let's start with government excellence. So in 2024, one of the things we did was a major code revision. And I asked city clerk to bring a prop. So that's our city code. That's what we went through completely. Maybe I think one or two chapters we didn't revisit. But to update and modernize that code, get rid of old language, and we no longer have camper parks or things like that used to be in our code. That was a pretty big effort. We requested and participated, and I think completed a fraud risk assessment to make sure that our finances are well protected. We changed how we do some of our bank processing so that because occasionally somebody steals checks out of the mail and tries to cash them. But we now have a process in place that will catch that and prevent us from losing those funds. We did a software update to our finance system so that now all of our records are safely in the cloud and positioned to expand that software even further. This is huge, and I think we're all proud that we got that AAA bond rating, which really was a reflection of the work that has been done here at the city in the past, work that we're doing now, and also looking forward to how our city is being run and what it will look like in the future. I think we were only like one of five cities in all of Missouri to achieve that rating. And we also combined our fire board and police board into a public safety board. Those boards were always very fun to be on and educational. I think our public safety board is probably a better fit, and they now have actually a true role for our city. So for government excellence, I think we did a pretty good job in 2024. Looking ahead to 2025, we will have some enhanced software systems that we'll be rolling out. We just, a few days ago, turned on our online permitting system. It's actually out there. If you have not checked it out, I invite you to do so. You actually can see all the open permits of all the city and see what's going on, which I've done. It's kind of interesting. Will also help, obviously, with efficiencies and make things better for our residents and also for our staff. We'll be deploying an asset tracking system, as well as a modern budgeting system, so we'll be able to leave the world of spreadsheets, hopefully. Hopefully. We're going to do some smart staffing. Several staffing things going on, but this specifically is talking about our facilities management, which is a role that, whoever is our facilities manager really just needs to understand how all the systems work, all the HVAC of all of our buildings, electrical, and all that stuff. And right now we pretty much have one person that knows that, so we'll be bringing on another person this year to learn from that one person, so we'll have more than one. We're getting a bucket truck. Now, it seems like an odd thing to throw on my presentation that I'm excited about for 2025, but honestly, this will bring additional capabilities for us that in the past we either couldn't do or we had to hire out to another company. And also, 2025 is a year for a charter review, so that'll be a big effort that we'll be getting started with soon. Moving on to vision and growth, last year we completed our median plantings along Watson Road, and those plants are really starting to finally look decent, and I think they'll continue to look better as we go on, and even in the wintertime, there's still some visual interest there. Our sidewalk expansion continues. So last year we did all of the design work for our big sidewalk project from Rayburn to Spellman Park. Coming up this year, we'll hopefully do that construction. But we're kind of on track to do a new sidewalk every other year. Asphalt over concrete was an issue that was created decades ago, where underneath some of our asphalt streets are old concrete streets that aren't necessarily in great shape. It's about 30% of our streets, and this is a long-term issue, and in 2024 we came up with at least the plan, and we're starting to work that plan. White Cliff Bridge, after years of planning and grant writing and engineering, we finally got that construction started. We completed a stormwater policy, which has been kind of vacant for about 15 years. We got that policy completed. Our Sapling Cemetery wall, I was hoping when I wrote this back in December it was going to be done, but we did complete all the legal work, which was, I think, a multi-year effort to get that legal work complete so that we finally could give that contract to a construction company, and we're just, I believe our permit's complete, and we're just waiting for them to do that. RV parking was, something that residents brought to this board, and this board listened, and they went to our Public Works Board, and at the end, we ended up with, I think, improved regulations regarding our RV parking in our residential areas. And we were able to get rid of gambling in Crestwood. The No Chance or the video lottery terminals are no longer in Crestwood, so don't have to worry about that. And looking forward to this year, we'll continue our stormwater policy and do the next step, which is stormwater engineering, to take our list of all the projects that we had back from 2008, kind of re-engineer them, revisit them, and re-cost them, and prioritize them so that we can start making our planning. We'll continue with our street updates. We've got about another $1 million allocated for concrete streets this year, and some of those will be that full depth replacement for our asphalt over concrete. And then some of the projects that we've been working on for a while will hopefully continue next year with the bridge and the wall and whatnot. Moving on to quality of life. So last year we did our quarry improvement design, which mainly was for the restrooms and the parking lot. So all that design happened, and we were able to get that restroom ordered. Hopefully that will be installed this year. We renegotiated our contracts with Playhouse Productions and Sapling Foundation. Playhouse has been around for 35 years. We're able to kind of bring that contract to current. And then obviously we just a couple months ago updated our agreement with Sapling Foundation, and they're moving forward with that cabin. Huge was Prop A education. Staff did a lot of work to help educate our residents on Prop A, and obviously there were also some volunteers that did work outside of that, and the voters approved it with about 60%, and so I think that obviously worked, and that'll be a great thing for Crestwood going forward. We got some improved park lighting installed in the I think Spellman Park and Sanders Park. Ferndale saw a new playground and most of the gazebo. I think we're just waiting for the picnic table to actually be delivered. And we did some aquatic center updates. We got a new roof. We resurfaced the big slide. We fixed leaks all over the place. The kiddie pool was finally just about fully functional again. And I think we started like a 5-year project of replacing all the chairs. So looking forward to this year, we'll be doing a community center groundbreaking, hopefully in June. So a lot of work has been going on to get us to that point, so that'll be a good event. Our Crestwood Park Playground will be installed this spring. More aquatic center updates, at about another 100,000 of updates, and not necessarily the aquatic center, but right next to it we'll also be moving the sand volleyball. Sapling and Log Cabin had the groundbreaking ceremony last weekend, and they are getting started with that. So I expect that cabin, we will be looking at it before the year's over. And the Back to Nature program will blossom this year over in Crestwood Park. And Premier Public Safety, last year we had our police reaccreditation that occurred. Another one of those things that wasn't a one-time event, but more of a recognition of the work that continues to be done. But nevertheless, it was a lot of work to get that done. We deployed additional flock cameras, and I think those continue to prove their worth. We deployed a school resource officer to the Crestwood schools, and I don't know if is this the first time we've done that? I thought it was. So, and again, partnering with Lindbergh with that. After a lot of work, we got our traffic calming policy deployed and in place. We got our fire truck and our second ambulance were delivered, and that wasn't just placing an order and waiting for it to deliver. There was a lot of design work and involvement with our crew to make that happen. And something that most people don't really realize, but I was able to participate in as well as Sarah, is their firefighter training simulation that our crew put together right here in our firehouse with donated items from Woodard, and so that they basically can do a lot of different simulation and real-life environment training right here without going to a different location. So coming up in 2025, we'll have some additional equipment and software upgrades. We'll have some new turnout gear for the firefighters, new hoses, radios, CPR equipment. The police get a new vehicle, mobile fingerprint scanners, computer printers, and deploying a new software app called Power Engage so that if someone calls 911, they actually can get a text message to their phone with a link that they can get additional instructions for that call. So like if it's a motor accident, they can get information, move the vehicle off the side and whatnot. If the response is delayed, they'll be notified. And then after the incident, they can do some follow-up. So I think that'll be pretty important for our residents. We'll see additional traffic calming projects come through, and some additional construction projects for our first responders. We'll have a new canopy over our police vehicles, and I think a new kitchen's coming to our firehouse. And our final category, engaged and connected community. Last year we had quite a few service events. We had our electronics recycling, our shred event. We had drug take-back days, honeysuckle hacks. We had a trash bash clean stream event. We had Arbor Day and other planting events. All of these which help serve our residents and also provide opportunities for them to be involved and engaged. We had community events that our Parks Department put on, Easter party, Splashtacular, Christmas in July, music at the market days, star parties, Touch-a-Truck, Halloween Family Fest, Suncrest Fest, citywide garage sale, kids garage sales, movies in the park, movies in the firehouse, pickleball Christmas parties, and letters from Santa. And we had various open house events. We had a couple elected official open house events. Prop A had open house events. Parks Department put on an adaptive recreation open house, several for the Crestwood playground for the initial design. Then the park board will allow people to select the best designs, and then multiple visits at Long School where the students got to participate. And then a nature playscape did the same thing, asking residents for input there. And to keep our residents informed with everything that's going on, there were several website updates. We had some new pages on Prop A, traffic calming, and our city goals. Coming up this year, we'll have a communications manager. I am probably most jazzed about this than most other things in this presentation. I think our staff does a really good job of doing with what we have to communicate to our residents, but I think this will really take us up another level. So I think a year from now when we're looking at this, we'll definitely see the difference. Our Parks Department, I believe, is going to get a new program registration software. If anybody's ever tried to sign up for a recreation program or anything online, it's just not fun. We use the same software that most other parks use, but I think Eileen has found one that will be much, much easier to use, and people will actually enjoy it more. And this will be a banner year for Crestwood as we install Crestwood-themed banners all along Watson and Sappington. As you drive into Crestwood, you will know that you are in Crestwood. That is my goal. And Mr. Faust and Angela have been instrumental in getting us there. And then we also will have a new EMC right outside the building to help inform our residents. Computer just stopped. There we go. Also, it's been a pretty good year for businesses and organizations coming to Crestwood. This is just kind of a list of businesses that either completed their move or announced their move and got approval that are coming to Crestwood. I think when he was mayor, maybe at the groundbreaking of Deerberg's, told us all that success breeds success. And I think that it's obvious that that is occurring, and I expect this list next year to be just as impressive. So all of these signs of progress, none of these were check-the-box type of efforts. All of these were projects that required multiple people to work for multiple weeks, months, and some of them even years. So when you look back at everything that was accomplished in 2024 and that we've got planned for this year, I think it's a pretty decent body of work that I think everyone should feel pretty good about. Just to end, got an inspiring quote. that from John F. Kennedy, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. And I think this just reminds us that simply exerting effort or being courageous is important, but it's without purpose and direction, we could just be wasting our time or misguided. And I think it just underscores the importance of having a clear vision and meaningful goals for our actions. I'm really, really proud of the work that we got done in 2024 and everything we have planned for this year. And without a doubt, Crestwood is in the best position that it's been for over a decade. In February, we will meet again to push and expand these goals at our annual strategic goals session. And so I ask everyone here, Board of Aldermen, staff, our engaged residents, to start thinking about the Crestwood that we want in 2025 and in 2035 and in 2045, and to bring those ideas to that session and so that we can start that work. So to this board, to the city staff, and again to our engaged residents, I congratulate everybody on a successful 2024, and I look forward to what we're going to accomplish together this year.